All right, today I'm going to share with you what's better. Is it volume or actually quality when it comes to getting girls and doing a session or just including pickup in your day to day? So this is an interesting topic because in my 20s, I wasn't really cold approaching that much. I was shy. I was a shy guy, man. But what I did have like a sort of calmness in me and a certain confidence, a certain aura, a nonchalance. Is nonchalance, yeah. Like just the way I was walking. If you meet me in real life, I'm kind of like really mellow. Just the way I walk, and I'm kind of slow sometimes. But I can run super fast on a 100-meter dash. But when it comes to day to day life, I'm just like pretty chill. I'm very, very laid back. But I do think a lot. I do tend to overthink, and something I'm working on. But when it comes to women, usually what I've noticed is since I'm very analytical, I developed a sense of how to spot a woman that is just showing interest right from the get go. As far as the eyes, as far as her approaching your orbit in very subtle ways, just the way she's giving you eye contact, things like that. Or, if you have a social circle, even better, even easier because you don't even have to open that way. She kind of already knows who you are through mutuals, right? So, what you can do, as far as approaching and, if you really feel insecure as far as getting to talk to her, I would just start like going about my day, living my life, trying to be a better man, okay? I know that sounds cliche, but try to find your purpose. Like, what do you want to do? Like, pick something. Pick something. Stop trying to juggle between three, four different business ideas. That was a big problem in my 20s. Just pick something, focus on it, and go all out. Go all out, never stop. If you have another job and you're trying to juggle all this, as soon as you're done your shift, maybe go to the gym, do what you have to do to like maybe recharge a little bit, but then dive in, man. Put at least 4 hours a day on your business. And on the weekend, double down. You have the morning and the early afternoon to do something, then you kind of can reward yourself. You can go out and then you can really implement, cold approach or something like that. Find a wingman. I've done this in Toronto with one of my friends, and it was much easier to approach because we're in this together. You kind of hype yourself up. In the beginning, it can be really awkward because you're just in the corner of the bar, and you just kind of see who's gonna make a move first, who's gonna pump us up first, and sometimes would be hours where we just wouldn't do anything. We would just self amuse ourselves and all that, which was super fun. Um, but yeah, sometimes it took us a while. And one of the first thing we did, was actually one of my friends' recommendation, is to just approach like a group of girls, for example, and just name a random city, and then just kind of look at them. And then this kind of creates like almost like a pattern interrupt, where it will be like, what? And then you say, yeah, Toronto. And then they will sort of realize you're asking them if they're from Toronto, and then you kind of you tease them and say, oh well, you just got this look, it's very like city vibes, Toronto esque or whatever. Or if you say small town, you can tell them that they look from a small town, even though they're from a big city, and some girls will be a little offended by that. But if you say it with a smirk, it's kind of funny. And then it kind of, spirals down to a good conversation, and then you can try to make it man to woman. If your buddy likes the other girl, if you like this one, you can start isolating slowly. maybe hit the dance floor for a little bit if you like dancing to, as far as your game. I like including a dancing part, especially if you're in a club. I think dancing, the physical aspect of it makes it much less awkward afterwards. And then you can escalate from there. Then you can bring her to another area of the bar. Maybe get some food after. Just get the set moving, okay? And notice how it started with just asking where she's from in a funny way. You don't need to say much. You don't need to say much. And sometimes when I was self-amusing with my friend, uh, sometimes you could spot girls looking at you, okay, because you're having fun with your buddy. So they're intrigued by that. And I had one instance where a guy, I guess he was a coworker, a guy friend who tried to get at her maybe, but the guy actually came to me and say, "Hey, my friend thinks you're cute. She should like to talk to you." That can happen. That can happen when you really hone in on your physique. You feel good within yourself. You're self-amusing. You're really calm, detached, nonchalant, just focusing on having a good time, and you're not like there trying to find, who's hot in the club, who's hot, what's the ratio, what's this, what's that. Just focus on the fun, okay? And they will come sometimes. Not always. Sometimes you gotta go out there though. So it's a balance. There's no extreme, okay? There's no extreme. I'm not gonna be the guy that's gonna tell you like just never approach and they will come. Like build it and they will come. No, sometimes you gotta go after it, make that first move. And of course, approaching and opening in and of itself is a little bit needy because you are approaching. But my goodness, don't say, "Excuse me, sorry to bother you." Like that's you're like apologizing two times in the same sentence. So that really puts her on the pedestal. Or if you start right away, wait, "Excuse me, 2 seconds, you're really pretty." Like with this intonation, you're really pretty. Like, no, it kind of makes you wanting to seek rapport, that you want something out of her. Instead, just have a breaking report tone. Like, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, think you look really good right now. I mean, I was gonna go home, but I saw you and god damn, you look good. Now I can't go home and it's all your fault. So what are we gonna do about that?" I don't know. I just said something random, but you get my point, right? You just break rapport, right? Don't end up on a hup tone like this because it comes off as a little bit needy. And if you say sorry to bother you on top of that, it's not good. And it also, your mind really affects that because if you approach her and deep down you don't really want her to invest in the conversation because you just kind of want her to leave so that you can be done with the interaction and avoid like rejection and so on. Well, she's gonna sense that and she'll gently say, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," or, "I just gotta go to the bathroom," or something like that. It's not gonna it's not gonna be like a meaningful conversation because deep down you're half in, half out. Okay, you kind of want to talk to her, but you kind of want to leave to avoid that rejection or notice maybe a Chad that is actually her boyfriend and kick you out of the tribe and kill you like the caveman days. So, something to pay attention to. So, if you're starting out, I would maybe focus on just having better intentions. So, in your mind, saying, like, "Hey, I just want to see if she's cool. I know I am cool. So, I'm just going to come up to her, see what's up, say hi, and whatever comes after. But I'm not worrying about that. I'm just going up to her, chatting." So you want to talk to her. You're not half in, half out. You're like 100% all in. You're walking towards her. You're going to say hi. And you don't care about the outcome at all. And of course, as far as polling and, you know, the next steps, getting into the to your place or going to her place, obviously it's going to have to be a longer interaction. I mean, we're talking at least 45 minutes to an hour, that you got to build that, we call it comfort. Hmm? But it depends on the day of the night, the day of the night. It depends on the time of the night. If it's the beginning of the night, perhaps it's not time to try to go for the pole or something like that. Because, if she just got to the club, I mean, she kind of want to enjoy herself with her girlfriends and see where the night goes. She probably doesn't want to, go home with a guy right in the beginning of the night. Like I'm talking from, let's say, 10 p.m. to midnight, for example. So perhaps during that time, you kind of want to, get as many approaches as you can, meet as many people inside the club, get to know their logistics, who they came with, what's their plans for the night, where are they from, like, do they have roommates? Are there any roommates with her right now? Like, what's the situation and all that? So just so that you can have an idea of the logistics, what's possible, what's not possible. And, if you go to another bar or something like that, you can just grab her info, okay? Get her number, something like that. So accumulate some numbers, and then from midnight to like closure, depending on the country, like it could be 2 a.m. all the way to 5, 6 a.m. to my Korean friends. This is where, all the numbers that you have, you can call them up or say, ask them where they are, and then potentially connect again, and then have this longer set. But you gotta make a choice. You gotta make a choice. You can't scatter yourself and be half in, half out, like what I said earlier. So if you want to pull that night, if you want to have a romantic getaway, I would pick one. Pick one and stick with it. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But have a goal in mind. Like, why are you going out? Maybe it's just to socialize, and that's okay too, right? You don't always have to pull for the sake of pulling. I would I would go for that only when it feels right. When it feels like you made a great connection, and she probably wants it more than you do. And but I get it. If you're early in your 20s, and you're more of a savage, and you just want to pull, 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 that's fine too. We all have that phase in our lives as a man, and I think it's good to work on that skills, because in the future you know what you want, what you don't want, and that's valuable experience to have. I wish I did more of this in my 20s, for example. So okay, so I touched on sort of night game as far as approaching and all that. But if you're lazy like me, and sometimes, and you want to, just have fun and see where the night goes, they will come to your orbit. If you spot a girl, if you see she's looking at you, it's because she's looking at you, okay? And if magically comes closer to your surroundings, it's a good sign that you should probably approach. Like, just say hi. Say hi. You don't need strong game for that. Say hi. And if she likes you, she will really try hard to keep the conversation going. So just kind of let her game you, pretty much, because she has shown the interest, and she came closer to you. So just chat her up, see what's up, see if she's cool, and go from there. And then you can maybe set up a date for the next day, or if the night feels good, you can take it to your place or her place.